What's going on, everybody? So let's take a quick little look at AMD here. The markets again continue to tread down. If we look at the triple Qs, we look at those NASDAQ 100 stocks for the past 3 days, we've been in this humongous range with the volatility being up like this. It moves are not really holding on the bounce side. They're getting sold off. And just when you think you could get into a short position and kind of snaps back on you, these are not the best trading environments. Now, the only reason that makes it worthwhile trading these, volatile times is that there is enough range in the day. So, for example, you have enough of a range to be able to catch something on the short side, and there's enough of a range that you can catch a small bounce to the long side. With that being said, we're going to get into AMD. AMD was down significantly today, closing at $102.60, $8 down on the day, 7.5%. After hours, we are pretty much flat, trading at 103. Here's what I want to take a look at: 99.67. This is going to be the next area that I think that AMD could possibly wash out to, just due to the fact that I had to go all the way back here to September and kind of try to find, a couple days of where we kind of held some support in here on September the 29th, as well as October the 4th and the 6th. We kind of held this area 2-3 times. And if we kind of go back to July, I seen that we came up into this $98, $99 area, had a little bit of trouble, and then when we did break through, we were able to go on a pretty nice ramp up. Come down, back test, consolidate a little bit, found this little bit of an area as support, and then we really went on that big huge run to 164. Now, when AMD went up to 164, I knew that there was going to be a pullback, but I did not think that the overall markets were going to pull back this much. It just seems like the dip is going to never stop dipping. And it's really hard to say where the bottom is at, because if we really look at the overall stock market, in the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it's pretty much been just linear straight up. Yes, we've had a few minor pullbacks before, but just considering where we've come from over the past 2 or 3 years, the markets are still quite a bit a ways to the upside, meaning that they still could potentially sell off, consolidate sideways, be in a bear market for a while. Potentially, we could be looking at this kind of trading environment, maybe all of 2022, get some of your pops here and there, followed by selling and kind of trade sideways and, big move down, followed by a nice bounce sideways, big move down, small bounce sideways, big move down. We can kind of stay in that cycle, but let's take a look. So we have the last 3 trading days here on AMD. The previous lows were 107.33. We could have had a little trade here below the 200-day moving average. So basically, if we lost the 200-day moving average and we cleared out this channel here of 107, there's a potential short. Obviously, we did that. We lost the 200-day moving average. We gave up this channel here from the 24th of January, and we flushed from 107 to 102. Fantastic move. Now, this is a big extreme move to the downside. Tomorrow's Friday, ending of the week. I could see maybe a little bit of a snapback, maybe an inside bar day. I'm not saying that we're going to bounce tomorrow and come all the way and engulf this big red candle. Maybe we bounce, maybe we flush, get an early morning flush out into 99, 100 area, and then we get a nice little bounce, maybe back up 103, 104, 105 maybe. That's what I could see happening. It looks something like this tomorrow. We get a nice little flush in here, and then we get a nice little bounce, maybe into that 105, 106 area, and then kind of like a little dip, something like that tomorrow. That's one thing that we can take a look at. Semiconductors have been getting slammed, and NVIDIA also got slammed today. So that's one thing we need to really take a look at, is the semiconductors as a whole. They were the ones that kind of really let us out when we broke out before, and they've been the leaders kind of tugging us down. So I know Apple had earnings today, actually holding up those earnings in the after hour session pretty well. So hopefully Apple continues to hold the market up a little bit, because if Apple starts to give away those gains, we can really start to see the indexes get drugged down with them. resulting into a lot of these other stocks getting drugged down pretty significantly as well. Let's just keep those levels on watch. There's not too much here. We don't have to get too there's nothing too crazy to be looking at here. We can't really try to pull numbers out of thin air. The stock market is what it is right now, and we have to accept it for what it is. I wouldn't be looking to put on long positions here, start investments here, and call this the bottom and say, hey, you know what? Well, if I just start, let me just start loading up here because we're going to come back. As soon as you do that and you think that this is the bottom, we could potentially have some sort of dead cat rally bounce here in the next week or two, followed by consolidation and then another leg down. So that's one thing that you don't really want to do. As long as we're trading below the triple Q's 200-day moving average and 50-day moving average, the momentum is still to the downside, no matter how big of a bounce that you get. As long as we are trading below the 200-day moving average, this is a seller's market. So just be careful loading up those positions. And what I would be looking for here is any washout below 102 down to 109. We need this level to hold. And then we could potentially play a little bounce back up, maybe to 105 and 109 territory. And that would kind of be where you would want to see, what do we do in this area? Do we get rejected and start to roll over? If we do, you could potentially, head short or take a short position here, play that back into that $99 range. I hope this video kind of helps, guys. Let's not get too fancy with our trades. Let's just kind of, continue to go with the trend until we see some sort of significant bounce and hold on this market to show us that, hey, the bottom is in. We still have to think that any dead cat bounce will be sold again. So not the best news on a lot of stocks. I wish I had better news. I wish there was some levels that I can give that were very, very clear, but a lot of stocks are broken down. A lot of stocks are not respecting any of their support levels and continue to tread lower. So what we're actually looking for now is big bounces to be able to set up short plays to the downside. With that being said, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, join my Discord that's down in the description box below, and I will see you guys all in the next video.